Hi all. In this video, we're going to be doing a bit of a commentary on a replay of a game I played recently with myself and Estus versus Craft Bomb and Garius Marius on Wonsan Harbour. Now this is a bit of a different one from usual. This one hopefully will show you the importance of A, not screwing up your opening royally, and B, sticking with the game even when you're losing badly. So for this one, I was using my Swedish mechanised deck, and Astus was using Blue Dragon. So I'll just start the replay off here. Now I've just been building up. The plan is I'm going to go catch the crossroads here, and Astus is going to push up through the town. So I've started off with basically some man pads, but of a couple of ATGMs and a couple of the Swedish STRFs, which also come with some infantry, but basically really good autocannon APCs, and a Vec, which is some Raider A and a bit of a recce tank. Astus there is basically coming out with infantry. I think most of it was elite Japanese infantry. Our opponents are using, if I remember rightly, it's Czech and Russian decks. So we can see again, the one who's going in the middle has lots of infantry, the one who's coming my way has some infantry and a bit of a tank again. Now, speed this up a bit and watch how we absolutely mess up the opening here. So we kick off and we head off in the rush. Now, this is a kind of standard open for the Swedish deck for me. It's a bit of a low point start game this, but this is a standard opening for the Swedish deck. I've got some recce as well. I forgot about the other that's going over to Foxtrot just to keep an eye on the flank. Now, this normally nice little balanced force runs up, grabs a forest or a town, secures it, ATGMs out, manpads out, chases off most things. Here you can see I've already sort of dropped one ATGM and Echo. We're pushed up in the middle, there's some cootie there, and here I start getting stuff out in the town. At this point I spot his stuff at the same time and immediately realise my first problem. I have brought nothing that can really match his infantry in a town in close combat. What I have is a bunch of ATGMs, manpads, etc. So I'm trying now to get the tanks and the APCs to provide support and fire, which is what I normally do. But in this case, because of the locations, I can't get a bead in them at all. So I'm not even getting support fire. So at this point, I'm getting millered. I'm going down quickly. And now in the middle, the Cootie have already came off really, really badly against the initial run-in with the Lejan. Now, as you can see at this point, we just have a massacre going. My tanks are getting stunned by the flame infantry there. I just can't get them back far enough, and they're basically flamethrowered to death. All the stuff here is dying. You can see now they spotted my Vec, which was shooting stuff, and it's about to die. Now I brought out in an emergency a Fighting Falcon here, which is a good eye win, but a couple of £1,000 bombs makes a bit of a mess of the infantry. The Vec now goes down to the bombers because there's just too much kind of going on. We're trying to desperately put stuff in. At this point, I'm pretty much spent. If you look at the points difference already, they're almost 200 points over us. My entire starting force is almost gone. In the middle, we're just getting hammered completely and getting pushed right back. So now reach this point, I'm pretty much dead. All I have left is my recce helicopter and one ATGM team that I started with. That's it. There's nothing protecting that left flank at all the way out to Dela. The two T-55s are. And in the middle, it's all gone. All the infantry's gone. At this moment in time, if they had pushed, it was game over. I'm sending in the Fighting Falcon in desperation to try and square him away. But, there's not much we can do. We've got next to no income. We actually have Golf and Foxtrot. We're going to get outpointed very quickly here. We have nothing. I'm throwing in some basic infantry up and recce tanks, and we're rolling out whatever cheap stuff we can to put in the way. But honestly, at this point, I was considering quitting, because if you look now, they're about 400 points up. But I figured, I've steamrolled people in the past. You've had those games where it just goes right, you get the perfect opening, you crush them. I thought, let's give them that option of basically getting to crushes. It's sometimes fun. So you can see they start pushing up the T-55s, the one ATGM team picks them both off. And they've got all this Zanshi sitting in the middle, opposite some Cootie and one tank. They could easily get through us, but they don't. For some reason, they just kind of stop pushing. Now, if you look at the points difference, they're massively up in us. So I'm throwing in the Fighting Falcon just to try and discourage them. Just anything we can to keep them away. You can see they spotted the ATGM team, which is out of ammo just now anyway. So any tanks they push up are going to get us. So we think, okay, maybe they're just stopping to rearm and repair, but you know, there's like 60, 70, 80, 90 Zaneshi there against 20 Kuti. They could be over and in that crossroads, and once that town there falls, we're pretty much boned. So again, now I'm shoving up some Kushjager because I had the points and I figured they're going to cross at any moment. We're shoving the HMVs out to flank just to keep an eye on that road because we're aware we've got nothing watching that flank. We don't expect them to do anything, but maybe it'll give us a bit of a warning. I've got some logistics going up to reload my ATGMs. You know, the Falcon goes in again to bomb stuff. He's just trying to get points. Now, at this point we're kind of like, okay, they don't seem to be pushing. And we're starting to think, okay, we're down by quite a bit still. But, you know, it's not insurmountable. I've came back from worse games. Now, if looking at their side, there's lots of stuff rolling out constantly. You know, again, the Delphins are coming in, the Bombers are doing the runs. Fortunately, it turned out they did the gun run, and they did it in front of the AA. So we get another one. Great, we're pulling back a bit more points now. And you can see he's desperately trying to shove everything in the middle here. We've got just everything rolling out. As soon as I get the points, it's going. So I'm pulling out now the autocannon APC because it's the joy of the Swedish one. The STRF is it's a fantastic with the 40mm Bofors. It can kill pretty much anything that isn't a heavy tank, and even most tanks that will keep them suppressed. Now on the put side, you can see they're rearming in the middle. They're securing up Delta. They're basically just going for the points. There's more man pads coming out, which fair enough. When you see a Falcon flying around a lot, you're gonna want to kill that quite quickly. Again, T-55s out here on the left, just sitting there. I'm assuming they're probably quite low on fuel. No, they've got about half the fuel left. Could have made a push down that road, and again, that was it. With nothing that could stop them. Starting to feel low. We're starting to feel a bit better about the middle now. We've got enough infantry there. We reckon we can keep them busy, and we've pulled out a mortar. It's like, at this point we've gone, right, they're not attacking, let's start pulling points back. So out comes one mortar to start trying to pick stuff off. Now we also spotted a couple of things moving up on the right here, so I ran the APC over because we realised we've got next to nothing in Foxtrot to defend it. Now again, the Delphins coming in, where they kind of know the AA is. They've already flown into that AA once before, so they probably really didn't want to do that. Although it did manage to get both units of AA, so in the long run the gamble paid off, which was slightly annoying. But I feel like points wise now, we've pulled it back to only 200 behind, which makes quite a difference. But then Q5D comes in and nukes something again, they're up. And on the right hand side we spotted the Strela team moving forward for the Chaos, thanks to the Rangers I think, so I shoved the STRF up just to start shooting stuff, pull the recce back. You can see in the left now too, they're starting to sort of cross a little bit over, a few amphibious vehicles over. You can see here I've got some Stormers, I got them out and pushed them further up the road, not to kill anything, just as a, hopefully, just as a trigger warning in case enemy do try to come around there. See in the flank, the SDF's desperately trying to chase some points, so it gets one of the Strela units, but it takes a bit of damn, you know, basically I realise there's a lot more there than it first appears, so it runs it away. The KS is pulled over towards the fob to repair. I can see there are an attack symbols there, not really sure what, other than just to try and interrupt the flow of reinforcements. I've got now some man pads coming up, you know, there's one there and there's another one coming because I'm fed up with the fighters. If I look back in their back areas now, they've got two Ondavas coming out. This is a big artillery. And this is where they have made the decision when they had the opportunity to crush us completely, to stop, form a line and just try and pick us off with RT and planes, which has given us a chance to rebuild a reasonable defensive line. Even now, if they pushed hard, they could probably crush that defensive line and get right through. And you see more infantry now going up the right because we're aware Foxtrot is highly exposed. And this one mortar is just doing its thing, running around, picking off units, kind of keeping us roughly close to where they are. Again, you can see they spotted this ATGM team as they're moving stuff up. It's just sitting there picking off stuff, coming down through there, you know, transports, and every little counts. You can see up comes the counter battery now from the Ondavas, so it's time to keep everything moving. Now the Delphins come in, we've got Hawk, we've got man pads, and it's a great wee combo. The Hawk stuns them, man pads take them out. Now in the middle, in comes the mortars, the napalm bombers. You know, that's us. You know, they've wrecked the big hole there again, but they don't really follow up. And this is one of the key things with the napalm stuff. It doesn't just work by itself, especially you know, maybe if you mass saturate an area, you will kill stuff. But the point of it was to force the enemy out of the middle of the town to the edge of the buildings where your tanks can engage them, and then you can shove through your own infantry in. As you can see in the right again, the mortars on the move, trying to pick stuff up. The Hawk, which we've moved, they've now spotted and they're after. I'm now rolling more infantry up to the south side. Here. We've got some recce tank, a recce tank, and then just a weak APC I've put there just again to cover this road, because you know we're sitting going to right. Eventually, if they're not coming that way, they're gonna throw it round the left-hand flank. But otherwise, the battle line at this point is stabilised quite a lot, which is a bit of a surprise. So I'm just going to rack the speed up a lot more. You can see we've realised this left flank is really exposed. So again, we've got a recce helicopter now going out there as well. I'm pulling the STRF back because it's been damaged a bit, so it's coming back to repair, because we're playing catch up. We need every little point we can. And now here's a nice little one. The F-16 Falcon, I decide to chance it because I noticed the Ondavas hadn't been moving, or whatever the artillery was. Gets round, right round the flank, kills an Ondava. Fantastic. Again, Delphin flies over the line, dies the Hawk, the manpads. It's a lovely little combination. Those Swedish manpads especially working very well. So between the Hawk and the manpads, it's getting stunned and killed. And we don't have much AA, it's literally 2 manpads and the Hawk. So again, the mortar is just constantly moving and picking, constantly moving and firing. Our FOB has gone down now. They decided to turn their archery to the FOB and took the entire FOB down. Again, 75 points, and it was a good one. It was a bit of a nuisance, so I'm having to now spend a lot more points in logistics rather than just getting a couple of helicopters and keeping them refilled. So yeah, made a wee mistake there. Istu started firing the mortar from next to where I'd just parked my damaged units and my logistics, so I had to quickly get them up moved. I've got more logistics going to the front. Again, you can see we get Kunstjäger in there. We've got quite a nice little force, keeping them moving. Again, here comes the Fighting Falcon. Off it goes because we spotted this stuff's moving up. So the Fighting Falcon goes in, necks out some of the Zanshi. Now here comes what looks like they're forming up for some sort of attack again. The napalm goes down, but if they were planning attack, and the napalm's now blocked the bridge, can defeat the point. Again, heavy arty coming in and just picking off units there, getting more points. We're closing up though. We're now into almost like 100 points of them, whereas before it was, you know, we were 200 behind. So we've managed to pull back, despite the fact they have a massive points advantage over us. Now again, I tried the trick with the Fighting Falcon again, up the flank, because I thought, well, it's been lucky. They've probably recovered. They're probably moving when they fire, or they're probably got A up. So I send the Fighting Falcon up anyway, because I can see the arty, and it goes. Boom! Another dead Ondava. That's 240 points from just flying the Fighting Falcon around the flank. Again, rocket arty, because they're starting to come over here. In comes the rockets to kind of suppress them. Not hugely concerned. Pulling back my guided missiles because they're kind of out of point, trying to shove the Fallschirmjäger up. And now again in the left, now they've started making a move in the left, which coincided with the fact I'd put some Stormers on the edge of the woods and started pushing them forward. Because I figured if they ain't going to come that way, we're good enough to try this way. So here, I'm pulling back units that are damaged because trying to preserve points. Because now we're within shouting distance of them points-wise. In fact, we've taken the lead at this point. So pulling back these, you know, units Fallschirmjäger that only get one left. Now here on the left, their attack manages to completely miss each other. The Stormers that I've pushed up, again, recce. Neither of us had recce. So my Stormers going the way. My trigger unit, we know the trigger unit's gone off. Saw them dying. It's like shit. They're coming that way now. So we've got some more mortars up as well. The Stormers push to the road, and this is where I realise I've made the mistake of I don't have any amphibious transport. So Stormers got all the way to the road, and then they can't the river, and they can't cross it, which is rather annoying. So I leave them there basically to try and shoot things coming. So here, up comes the rocket arty again. The pyro, they're kind of pushing now at this flank, so I'm getting really worried. Again, if they push from 2 directions, from any of Echo or the crossroads there, they could have really just crushed me there. So the stuff starts to come out, the T-55s, shells, all that. So it's out comes the Fighting Falcon, which I think finally dies, if I remember rightly. I lost my Fighting Falcon there. But the T-55s are almost over. But between the Draken, AH-1J would take them out. Here, I've moved up one of the Bofors transports again. It's doing its job. It's just suppressing the wood line, anything that sticks its head out. Again, in comes the rockets this time for the woods. Good idea, but probably wanted to do that a bit earlier. So you can see they've been pushing up. They keep dropping arty. They're like now randomly bombing Gulf. Randomly rocket stuff is generally not a good idea. Even in this case, they do manage to hit the command squad. Now the Stormers and the APCs managed to ambush some mortar strelicky going. Scared them a bit. Again, Astus, we spotted the commander, which is nice, but I pulled the Stormers back into the woods because there's not much they can do there. And I thought I'll bring them up behind and try and get this lot. Again, we shove forward HMVs just to see what's there, because we spot there's one Motor Strelica that we do want to kill. Because it's points, it's all about the points. At this point, it's neck and neck, there's 5 points and it's 7 minutes to go. So here come their arty, so one of the things we had to do is keep things shifting, because of, you know, even now, even though they lost 2 on Davos, they still have quite a lot of arty. And there goes a plane. That was kind of a loss we could have done without that big plane there, because now they're suddenly up by quite a bit again. This is important when you use close games. You've got to really watch. Like there, I managed to pull that 1 unit back, so that's 1 guy still alive. I feel like there's a lot of points in there. Fallschirmjäger 30, Panzer probably worth a couple, Kunstjäger are worth about 60 points. The Stormers, only 2 of there's all that stuff there that I've pulled stuff back from. It's getting desperate now. You know, both sides can sense the game's getting near end and they're starting to get desperate moves. Again, this is why the napalm doesn't work. The elite Kunstjägers will get out trouble. Now here, I've spotted this lot are getting dead, so I'll start to bring him recce up, but the T-72 pops out. Thankfully, at this point, I had brought an STRV 103 up, which pops out, chases it back into the woods. The plane kills it, and at this point, the STRV's only got 1 point of damage. It's 85 points, that's clearing off to the corner. Whereas here, I just pull all the infantry out there. I don't care whether if they decide to cross, they cross now. That's a lot of points of infantry, so I'm just pulling it back to try and repair it. Save the points. The mortars again, just to drive the tanks back. Now here, these arty found me, so the helicopters take off, the infantry is off and running. He gets the Panskater, or, sorry, Swedish people, I have no idea how you pronounce that one. And again, we're close, we're clawing back points again. So this lot just running now, I'm just running. So they're now at the point where they're randomly bombarding things to try and get points. And unfortunately, a lucky hit gets bloody command. And they managed to pick up quite a few points for that because there was quite a lot of weak units that was hiding in there. In hindsight, should have moved the command further back or put it in the edge or something like that in one of the other woods. You can see again, their arty found us there, but we managed to get that plane, that pulls us right back. On the right hand side, they found the command there. We hadn't spotted that they kind of snuck some units around there. But that was it. And at that point, game ends in a draw. Now we've come back from a massive kind of downer loss there to a draw, which was, you know, it was a real, that's proper edge of the seat gaming when you're playing it, because everything counts, every little move. Losing even the shittest unit, that 5 point, 10 point unit can swing the score difference. And the draw, you know, initially we fucked up royally with our initial attack and push. Wrong unit choices, wrong mix. I should have had infantry that was designed to fight in buildings. Probably shouldn't have put the blue dragon in the middle. I probably should have done that. I just don't like fighting up that town too much. And they crushed us. Absolutely crushed us. But when they had that advantage where they could have steamrolled us all the way back, they paused. They did the thing a lot of folk do, is when they run at each other, they have a bit of a fight in the middle and then they pause and roll the arty out. And that gave us time to build up our forces again and start picking points back. They got reckless. And that's also a thing you got to watch when you're winning, because I do it, everybody does it. You don't go, ooh, we're 2,000 points up, let's go mental with planes and expensive stuff, and before you know it, 1 TU-8AM and a couple of expensive planes later and they're within shouting distance of you again. So, hopefully this wee one has just sort of shown the point that I've tried to drive home sort of in the video and the guide I did, to where you need to just drive home your attack. Attacking isn't just for conquest, this is destruction, and if you attack and you push, you win. You know, if you take the, you know, at the end of the day, yes, it's about points, but if you take them completely off the map, you've already won, it doesn't matter. So, I thought it was a nice little game, bit different, bit unusual, where we really did fuck up, but it shows that if you don't quit, you get your head down and you keep clawing back, and your opponent gives you that room to breathe, you can pull a game back. So, hopefully you enjoyed that one, and I'll catch you all later.